I will call the Tuesday, February 24th, Faribault City Council meeting to order. First item is roll call.
Councilmember Barnes. Here. Jumbuya. Ross.
Here.
Rowan. Venslus.
Here.
Teal.
Here.
Mayor Spooner.
Here. Next is Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2 is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ross, second by Barnes.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Presentations and introductions, we have none. Approval of the minutes of February 10th.
Second.
By Barnes, second by Vanslus.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, request to be heard. I believe we have one that just signed up. Matt, hey, would you please step forward, state your name and address for the record? You have 3 minutes.
Thanks, Tom. Matt Cavalier, 1000 Shumway Avenue, Shattuck St. Mary's. Years. First, I'd like to thank Mandy and Tom and Chuck for opportunities to speak with them over the last couple of weeks. And while I don't agree with the decision that was made last week, I'll talk a little further about it. Number one, because I'm not quite sure that everybody on the council understands where that bucket of money, what it's supposed to be used for. And Jessica gave you a nice read ahead 2 weeks ago for you to take a look at and understand where those fundings were supposed to be used. The first bullet point is actually for this type of specific use that was being presented to you guys through the CAC. First bullet point. Now, it doesn't say it's number 1. There's no priority listing there, but it is listed as the first bullet point. So when we talk about it not being part of what fits there, that's just wrong. The second thing that I really want to talk about, though, is that the CAC continues to do work with rent assistance throughout the year. And the problem is that the CAC, we're in February right now, and the CAC has already extended all of its money for the rest of the year. So we're in a little bit of a challenge here because anybody who might need rent assistance throughout the rest of the year is going to have to be turned down. There's a lot of normal reasons why people need rent assistance. And it's not simply an acute emergency like we're experiencing here. It could be a single mom who has to stay home with her children, right, for an extended illness and is unable to work. It could be a variety of reasons. And yet there's no funding for us to do that. And so to turn down the CAC's request, I think is foolhardy on the part of this council. And I understand the vote has been taken, and you're past this point, but I think we need to understand that as a community, our job is to help support each other and move forward in these processes. And when people are struggling or challenged, that's when it's time as community members to step up. What I've seen is through GoFundMe's, I've seen over $30,000 raised in this community already. So my question is why, if we have $100,000 that is expiring at the end of December, and we would still have another $250,000 in a fund dedicated to this after that, why there is not more impetus to move forward with this project. I think that some of the decision making is short-sighted, and I'm really concerned about that. As a CEO of a major corporation in this town, a town that brings you in visitors, that fills the hotels, that fills the restaurants of this town. I hate to say it, but there's not a lot of other organizations that are causing people to come to this town weekend after weekend. Shattuck St. Mary's does. Right now, some of the decisions that are being made in the city of Faribault are causing challenges to my business, our livelihood. And I tried to say that last week, 2 weeks ago, and I didn't get that through. I need to be heard as a CEO of a major company in this town. And I would appreciate Peter, I would appreciate Adama, and John, who's not here, I would appreciate you getting back to me so we can continue. I'm done. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mayor?
Yes.
May I just say, Mr. Cavalier, I didn't receive, if it's went out by email, I didn't receive it.
send it to you because you weren't here for 2 weeks. I'll reach out to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Okay, there was no one else on the list, and saying there's no one else here. Thank you, Matt. We are on to consent agenda items, 6A through 6O. I believe we have
Mayor Spooner?
one.
Yeah, I have a question on 6E, Resolution 2026-055. Just needed clarification if the hourly rate is for the crew of 10 people or less, or if it's per individual. It was not stated.
I don't. That is an item that belongs to Public Works Director Travis Block, who'd be best to answer that.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, the public. Yes, I believe that is my understanding. That is for the crew. It's not per individual.
So Mayor Spooner, I make a motion then to approve consent agenda 6A through 6.
Second.
Burns, seconded by Ross on 6A through 6O.
Aye.
All opposed? Opposed, pass. Public hearings, we have one tonight. Resolution 2026-053, street improvements. Mark Duchesne, Director of Engineering.
Thank you, Mayor Spooner, members of the council and the public. Before you tonight is our second 2026 street improvement project, our 2026 street reconstruction project. This includes the roads 2nd Street Northwest from 4th Avenue Northwest to 1st Avenue Northwest, as well as a block of 1st Avenue Northwest between 3rd Street Northwest and 4th Street. These are full reconstruction improvements, so it's replacing all of the pavement, curb and gutters, sidewalk, and public utilities. 2nd Street, which is just right outside City Hall here and by the fire station, is proposed to be reconstructed in generally its same configuration. It'll be a 40-foot wide street with 2 through lanes and a parking lane on each side of the road, new bituminous pavement, curb and gutter, driveway approaches, sidewalk, and public utilities. The diagram here is just a graphical representation of what that road will look like. Topography between the north and the south sides of the road that we're working through in the final design challenges, but generally it'll look like it does today. Because the fire station is fronting on the proposed streets, we've been working with the fire chief to talk about access during construction and how we maintain ingress and egress for the fire station, since that south-facing garage door is their primary exit. Fire chief has indicated that through a combination of them moving some of their trucks around, if they need to put some of their primary vehicles on the north side so they can exit out the north side, they'll do that. But I think we're also looking at adding a second driveway onto 2nd Avenue. Right now, the plan is to have that driveway constructed up to a gravel surface prior to any construction happening on the south side of the fire station, 2nd Avenue. But then that would likely become a permanent driveway. Right now, when the vehicles come back from a service call, you've all seen it, I'm sure, they stop in 2nd Street Northwest and they back into the fire station. We're looking at designing this driveway so that they could come down 2nd Avenue, pull into the driveway, the main driveway, nose out to the street, and then back in. The biggest vehicles are probably going to get out into the drive lane a little bit, but most of their vehicles will be able to maneuver without blocking 2nd Street anymore. While improvement both in the short term to accommodate access during construction. The 2nd Street on this improvement project is 1st Avenue Northwest, again from 3rd Street to 4th Street. This would be between the police station and lot development is happening. We are looking at widening this street to accommodate angled parking on both sides of the street. By doing that, we pick up about 10 stalls along that segment of roadway. Again, all new pavement, curb and gutter, sidewalk. Here's the preliminary drawings showing those improvements and those parking changes. Again, going to angled parking on both sides of the street, parking on the east side, and parallel parking on the west side. We're also looking at the intersection of 1st and 3rd, doing some bump outs to control some traffic speeds, as well as make primarily the southwest quadrant of that intersection is not ADA compliant. by providing some bump outs, we can extend some sidewalks and get the slopes and grades. Anticipate with the on-street parking and some of the businesses on Central Avenue that some of this on-street parking will become pretty popular, especially in the off hours. Having these bump outs to slow traffic down provides total project cost for both these projects is just under $2.2 million. Majority of that, $1.3 million, comes out of our improvement fund. In this case, that fund is primarily funded through franchise fees, and then the various utility funds pick up their respective portions. Pending approval of plans and specifications, or ordering the plans and specifications tonight, we anticipate being back in 2 weeks with final plans and specifications to set a bid date. We're looking at a bid opening of April 1st to come back to council on April 14th. Construction will likely start end of May. Final completion the end of September. With that, I will stand for any questions the council may have on these projects. Ask you to consider a public hearing, or conduct a public hearing, and then consider the resolution before you 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Duchesne, I believe it's during the budgeting process, you give us this nice little map with 3 color-coded years, 26, 27, 28. Or, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. This was on there, right?
Correct.
Okay. I just want, for transparency, since a lot of these improvements run along city property, I just
I will say first
this
first,
was planned years ago.
yeah, the First Avenue block has slid 3 years in a row because we were waiting for final plans for that Rice County block redevelopment. Put in driveways or not put in driveways, so now that we finally have a solid plan for that block, public parking lot that will be constructed on Rice County block there.
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, the First Avenue Northwest, I'm assuming the parking will be restriped. Is that correct?
Oh yeah.
What, I know there's different widths. You can do 8, 9, 10 feet wide. What does the city of Faribault usually typically
The way it's laid out right now, I believe it's 60-degree angled parking with 9-foot wide.
do? Okay.
What our code of ordinance says if you were looking at a private development. Certain design codes allow you to go down to 7 or down to 8 feet. Go to some larger retailers and they'll sometimes go to 10.
Any other questions? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open it up.
Mayor Spooner,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026.
You gotta open it up for public hearing. Moved.
Second.
Motion by Ross, second by Van Sluis. All those in favor to open up public hearing, say aye. All opposed? We're now in public hearing. Anybody wishing to state anything on this matter, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Teal, second by Van Sluis to close public hearing.
Aye.
Hearing, all those,
Mayor Spooner, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-053.
Ross, seconded by Barnes to approve resolution 2026.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That motion passes. We're on items for discussion, resolution 2026-054. Once again, Mark Duchesne.
Thank you, Mayor Spooner, council, and members of the public. This is the next phase in the process, but for the other project that we talked about a couple weeks ago, our 2026 Municipal State Aid Street Overlay and Improvements Contract. This project occurs on Lincoln Avenue from Trunk Highway 60 or 4th Street to 7th Street, as well as 30th Street Northwest from Highway 21 south on Western Avenue. A reminder, this is our mill and overlay project, so we are going to mill off a portion of the pavement, either the edges or full width, repair castings and structures, pave a new bituminous overlay on these locations. Project costs here just under $560,000 estimated. Again, most of the costs are coming from municipal state aid fund, portion of the gas tax that the city receives. Here 2 weeks ago, asking you to order the improvements and preparation of the plans and specifications. We are back here tonight asking you to approve plans and specifications. We already have approval for these plans because it's on our state aid system. Open bids on March 18th and be back before you on March 24th to consider a contract award. Again, we anticipate this construction will start May or June. Final cleanup is scheduled for the end of August. With that, we are asking you to consider Resolution 2026-054, approving the plans and specs and setting the bid date.
Any questions for staff?
I have just one quick one. Director, when was 30th Street Northwest put in? Like, just for some reason in my mind, it feels like that road is so bad right now. And it's like, it hasn't been there that long.
It's about 20 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So it's due. I mean,
Yeah.
it has some challenges. There's some trench settlements and stuff that we need to fix.
Yeah.
But it was 05, 06.
Okay. Yeah, it's really bad. It needs it. So, thank you.
All right.
Spooner? Go ahead. I make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-054.
Second.
By Dalmuya, second by Teal to approve
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. On to ordinance 2026-02, amending chapter 17, the city administrator, Jessica Kidd.
Yes, we discussed this at our last work session, where there's trying to provide some consistency in how late fees and penalties are applied across kind of all of our ordinances. And so the amendments that are presented here tonight are both in chapter 17 and are basically removing all reference to any type of penalty in the code and moving it to the fee schedule. So the intention would be tonight's your first reading. At the March 10th meeting, assuming this is approved tonight, we would be doing the second reading, and then there would be an approval of a revised fee schedule to state the late fees as 10%, which is our standard that we apply to utility bills and outstanding accounts receivable. So this is trying to just leave fewer things to chance and error while making it easier to apply penalties and interest in our financial system moving forward.
Mayor Spooner? I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-02.
Second.
Motion by Van Sluis, seconded by Ross on ordinance 2026-02.
Councilmember Barnes. Dumbuya.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Van Sluis.
Aye.
Teal.
Aye.
Mayor Spooner.
Aye. That motion, or that ordinance passes. Item C, ordinance 2026-03, amending chapter 14. Once again, Jessica.
Yes, after working with City Attorney Scott Riggs, we've come to some agreement on language, which was talked about in our last work session as well, which really brings the regulation side of short-term rentals to, we want lodging tax paid, and we want to ensure that life safety matters are addressed in a property. And so there would be an inspection for this. You will note the ordinance does not set a fee. That is something that will be discussed at our March 3rd work session, and then would be be on the fee schedule amendment for March 10th that I just mentioned in relation to the other ordinance as well. So ultimately, I never heard back from Scott about any concerns about regulations of this type. He had mentioned they have a staff meeting every week, and if there was anything of concern, he'd let me know. So the language that we discussed at our work session last week is what stands with the $1 million of insurance that's been added in there per Scott Riggs' recommendation.
Questions for staff?
Mayor Spooner. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-03.
Second.
Ross, second by Barnes.
Councilmember Barnes.
Aye.
Dumbuya. Ross.
Aye.
Fenslus.
Aye.
Teal.
Aye.
Mayor Spooner.
Aye. That passes. Bids tonight, we have nothing. Boards and commissions, reports and announcements.
I have a few things. One is just to remind you, I sent out an email and will publicly post it that there will be a tour prior to the council work session on March 3rd, starting at 4:45 at the Hill Block buildings, which are addresses 217, 219, and 223 Central. EDA and HRA are also being invited as well, so we're posting this as a public gathering. And so no need to RSVP, you can just show up, and then we'll have the work session here afterwards. And then just,
Administrator, would you please make sure you send out an email on specifically where we're meeting?
I don't know where of
Well,
those
as we
three
get closer.
addresses. Yeah,
As we get closer.
It'll probably be Jake who will send that out, so, yep, but we'll get something out as that detail gets refined. And then the other thing, March 11th is when we're going to have our next council chat, 5 p.m. Viaduct Park, and the individuals from Maxfield Group, who did the housing study, will be there to talk to do a public presentation about the housing study and what it means and answer any questions. So if you know anybody who has questions about housing, that'll be a good one to come to.
Time is that?
5 p.m.
Mayor Spooner. The Paradise Center for the Arts is hosting their gallery opening reception this Friday from 5 till 7, and you can make an evening of it if you'd like by staying to watch Kill Me Deadly, which is at 7:30.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ross, second by Van Sluis to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. All opposed?